No feet in the frame? No feet in the frame. Okay. Sup nerds, this is Cosplay Shenanigans with Witchydigit. I'm Witchydigit, these are some shenanigans. This is an intro that was not recorded with the video that you're about to watch. The reason for this. It's the winter holiday season. I still work a day job in food service. We have had the busiest holiday season since the pandemic started that we have ever had at my store. And I am working all of the winter holidays, except for New Year's Eve, because I need to not get fired for fighting customers, and that is legitimately what I told my boss. If you schedule me New Year's Eve, you might have to fire me for getting in a fist fight with customers, and I don't even fight. I'm not aggressive. So needless to say, I am exhausted. I don't want to work on stuff. And I already have a Christmas holiday Matsuri themed video that I didn't upload yet, and I think it's really funny. So I'm just gonna use that one. I'm gonna pop it on the video and I'm gonna call it for January. And my excuse is that in German and Norse traditions, which I follow, there's two Yule moons. There's the Yule moon in December, and then actual Yule is celebrated the first full moon after the winter solstice, which will be January. It'll be my birthday, so happy second Christmas, y'all. Enjoy. We are going with a kitten today. I have a mic now. Did you notice? I can't do that super energetic YouTuber thing. This is another episode of Convention Stories, because why not? Okay, well really it's because I want y'all to see this clip that is previously posted on my channel, but it's from a really long video that is not super entertaining except for this one small part, so that's really why I'm doing this one. Anyways, oof, I should have my paper. Today's story comes from, okay, so if last Hallmat was 2019. 2018? Yeah. No. Because I think I was running Shingeki no Matsuri in 2017 still. Yeah, so Hallmat 2018, which Hallmat, if anyone doesn't know, is short for Holiday Matsuri, which is a Christmas-themed convention in Orlando. So this story is from Hallmat 2018, I think, and it's about kind of the last panel I ever ran. So this was the year that Nanbaka came out, which, you know, if you haven't seen, I am slightly obsessed with Nico because I just... I don't know why, but I like the whole injury bandaged up hospital core aesthetic. So yeah, obsessed with Nico, and this was the point. Yeah, this was the last panel I so far have run, but it was at the point in time where I was doing a lot of panels because, so here's the thing, is that the way I treat convention panels is not the way other people treat them. The way I treat them is, this is an hour-long improv comedy sketch with just, you know, a backdrop of you don't have to ask someone for a setting, you have your setting, you're this character. The way a lot of other people do it is, hey, let's get people to make memes at us for an hour, and the way convention owners run them is you have to have audience interaction. Which, with an improv comedy sketch, you know, not necessarily you can have audience interaction, it's just really hard getting people to do it, and getting people to do it in a way that does good comedy. But also, most people who are attending panels are not going into it expecting a comedy sketch. So This is kind of why I don't run convention panels anymore. The other reason is because I'm shit at planning and managing people. I should know I failed at management in my day job too. Anyway, that's part of why, is that I prefer, if I'm going to manage something, like my cosplay photography. At the moment, I'm mostly doing the I was not trying to curse there. I was trying to say photography, but I was about to say photography. Not a curse. Don't demonetize me. I'm not monetized yet. Don't future demonetize me. So yeah, I prefer, and it's probably partly a me thing that I need to get over, but I have more control when I'm taking care of everything myself. With the photography, I can decide how I want to frame it, because I am also a photographer as well as a model and costume maker and prop maker. So I want to make sure that the costumes I make, I have ideas for the composition of a photo in my head. And if it feels like when you're trying to direct your photographer that you're paying, I don't know, I worry that I'm going to offend them. But that's all a long way of saying that working with other panelists is not entirely my cup of tea, especially when they want to bring in the entire cast of characters. Like, guys, this show has 15 characters that people like. We can't have 15 people on a panel. They're just gonna be people sitting there not doing anything. That's one of the things that I don't like when I go to panels, is I feel bad for the character who's, well, obviously nobody likes this character. Why am I here? And then they end up leaving the panel with their friends being like, I did nothing there. I'm so bored. This sucks. Why did you make me be this character when I wanted to be that character? And I don't know. So when I'm attending a panel, I always try to think up a question for the people who you can see nobody's focusing on. But that's just a me thing. But when I'm running a panel, 5 people tops. Tops. But everyone's like, oh, I have a friend who does this character, I have a friend who does that character. And I'm like, how are we gonna work this in? You can't just bring the people in, you have to have something cohesive. There has to be a reason why they're there. You have to have a reason that people are going to interact with them. You have to have bits. And again, it's not how most people go, and since I'm kind of a pushover, and I'm not good at actually managing people, yeah, I just go, okay, they can join. No, dumb, stop it, bad joke, not even a joke. I was trying to manage these people while I was at work, and at this point in time, I was working at Jimmy John's as a delivery driver. So people are texting me because I have my phone open because I'm using Google Maps to get to these deliveries, and people are texting through the group chat on Instagram like, ooh, we have this idea, and they're being like, yo, Witchydigit, we have this idea, what do you think? And I'm like, guys, I am literally in traffic right now, I am not reading this. That is how you get into accidents. And just trying to catch up with everything after, because I was a closer at Jimmy John's because I prefer closing. I'm third shift right now because I don't like morning at all. Fuck opening, fuck daytime. No, not doing it. So I was a closer, so I had 6 to 8 hour shifts. I was working as much as I could, and trying to catch up with everyone after work was just exhausting because they were just chatting and having social hour in the group chat for planning the panel. And I'm like, guys, okay, so this plan we were talking about is now buried by 5 pages of, hey, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm working on this that's not related to the Nambaka panel. And this isn't a dig on anyone who I was working with, because they are still friends of mine. I hope if you're watching this that you don't think I hate you or anything. I just hated managing the panel. I just don't like managing people. It's not my thing. That's what I'm complaining about. So yeah, it was just a lot of that and a lot of I don't know what I'm doing, and eventually we settled on some panel stuff, and we came up with some games because, you know, that's how you get the audience engaged. But we still had, you know, a few bits and things, and it ended up really fun. So I think God, I still have props. I spent so much money on this panel. But I still have the props from it, which I'm not gonna go get because I have no idea where they ended up in storage anywhere. They're probably underneath the staircase somewhere. I ended up buying props because we did these games. Because if you haven't watched Nambaka, it's a prison comedy / tragedy anime. Go watch it right now if you haven't. Finish this video first, but then go watch it because it's so good. It's really funny, and then it'll break your heart. And also, you'll know one of the characters that I cosplay. So the main characters are prison inmates. Anime glitter prison inmates. And they're constantly, you know, trying to escape just for the lulz. So we kind of framed it as guards versus inmates, and like sort of a puzzle room, escape the room sort of game, except like with the actual, you know, challenges. I remember I bought these little puzzle boxes. It's like a cube, and it has one of those mazes with a little ball that you know, squidge it around as the ball goes through the maze, and if you get it to the end of the maze, then it opens the box. So there was that. I think that was the second one, because the first one was a riddle that I just put in a piece of paper in a binder or whatever, and they had to figure out the riddle and then come tell the answer to someone on one of the panelists. If they did that, then they got the puzzle box, and if they opened the puzzle box, then it had a key inside of it to a little treasure chest thing. One of those little kitschy things that you can buy at like pirate-themed gift shops at the beach. One of those sorts of things. And then that opened it and they got, I don't know, the final thing or whatever. I did not buy that much stuff. But we also had games like, apparently there's the cookie game, which one of our other panelists knew about, it was actually pretty fun. You put like an Oreo on your forehead and you have to wiggle your eyebrows around and try to get it in your mouth, which I unfortunately couldn't do because Nico has a bandage over half his face, so very difficult for me to do, but everyone loved it. It was really fun. And a couple of other games that I don't remember. They're probably in the video, actually. We got most of the footage. Oh! So, this is the part about the panel that I basically wanted to make this video for, is we also had an obstacle course. But this is the part that I wanted to bring attention to, because, like I said, improv comedy is my goal, and this game was so much fun. I would do it again, honestly. I may or may not run panels in the future. I have one that I'm thinking about, but maybe I'll discuss it at the end of this video. We'll see. If I do, I'll upload the footage here. So subscribe and ring that bell if you want to see any future panels I run, if I ever do. But okay, so we did an obstacle course, and basically the gist of it is you have your panelists, like you arrange them and some chairs and stuff into obstacles. Do we have a audience member? We either had an audience member or a panelist. It might have been the panelist who we had laying on the ground that you had to step over, because that is potential injury and you don't want audience members. Panelists are fine to hurt because we all signed up for it. Audience members, don't hurt them. And the same thing for like 3 people, each like zigzagged, and you have to go around them. and around chairs and stuff like that. And it was guards versus inmates. And I think on the inmate side, since we had it that way, it was we chose one person from the inmates and one person from the guards to direct our panelist through the obstacle course. And whichever, the one team had someone really good, but they gave such good directions. And I was watching them with my other panelists going around like, oh yeah, this will be so easy, you know? So I was like, yeah, this will be great, we'll be fine. We're totally gonna win, my side's gonna win. I was getting really pumped for it. And then our audience member, bless them, oh, bless this person. Oh, I think they were having trouble differentiating their left and right from my left and right. And so here's the thing, they kept going, okay, so turn to your left. No, wait, your other left, your right. And I was like, oh no, I don't know where I am. Because we had our panelist who was being directed through the obstacle course. We had them step outside the room while it was set up, so it was set up slightly differently for each one, and you know, so they couldn't see it. I actually forgot when I was prepping for the entire panel, because I bought everything, I forgot blindfolds, so I actually used my arm sock for the bandages, because I very quickly found out on Nico that trying to bandage your fingers means you can't use your fingers. Because that's the whole point of using actual bandages. So I have an arm sock, so I had like pulled that off, and it's, you know, elastic-ish. So tied that around, and I was like, you know, technically if I opened my eyes I could see around this, but I can't open my eyes or else this is going to blind me. But I like had no clue where I was, no clue where like in the room I was. And at one point, because they were getting really flustered, and I was getting like, how far away could I possibly be from the end of this? Oh, I just decided, spur of the moment, again, my goal in this is comedy. And I succeeded, because I decided, spur of the moment, you know what? I haven't had to step over anyone yet, or I've stepped over someone. I don't think we're doing more than one of those. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna book it. And I just started walking. And everyone started freaking out because I am just blind walking straight forward. And then I hit the wall. I hit the little divider that divides the convention center into rooms. And even better, I didn't know this at the time, but oh, I'm so glad we caught it on camera. Roll the film. So apparently, there's another panel going on in the room beside us, and I hit the wall with so much force because I'm just walking that someone from the other panel or like the rave or whatever in the other room like heard it and came to check on whether anyone was okay or hurt. But they were in like Grim Reaper like skull mask and everything. It was perfect, and I had no clue what was going on until I came home and started editing that video. And it was just, I love it. This is, I should run some more panels. I should figure out how to manage people and run more panels because I love that. It's such a fun experience. This is why I go to panels. Like, I have some friends or, you know, some other cosplayers who make YouTube videos and they're like, yeah, I don't normally go to panels because you can't really guarantee the quality of it. And I'm just like, no. That's why you go to them. If the panelists seem a little flustered and like they don't know what they're doing, you help them out. You go in and you ask the question, you know, you pick on the one person who seems to be really going for it, or you know, you pick on the one person who's not getting any questions and you're like, I got you. I'm gonna engage with you. I don't know. Maybe it comes from before anime conventions. My whole family was really into Renaissance fairs, which I need to go back to. With the third shift, there's no time. They're during the day, and that's when I'm sleeping. You know, I started out really going to Renaissance fair, and those have barkers, and the people running the shows are definitely like picking on audience members. Like, they're picking on you. And you know, it goes both ways. They're picking on you, and you know, you call out something, write down in the comments if you want to hear about some of my favorite memories being an audience member at various Renaissance fairs, because I want to make that video. Like and comment if you want to see that video. Yeah, and subscribe if you want to see other panels that I do in the future, because now I'm thinking I kind of want to do more panels. But since that's where I came from, sort of, that whole give and take, I'm like, panel isn't just, you know, you go and sit and get entertained. No, you're interacting with your audience is interacting with you. As the Renaissance Fair show people like to say, this isn't a TV. You're not just sitting here watching me. I can come over here and talk to you. So if you're not going to engage, I'm going to come over here and talk to you. And those are the best panels, but as an audience member, you can do that and help out your panelists too. We're all here to have a good time. You don't just have to sit there and not do anything. We're all here to have a good time. So anyways, that's the Nambaka panel. I forgot to say that I named it, what did I name it? A Very Namba Christmas. So if you were at Hallmat for a Very Namba Christmas, go drop down in the comments and I'll like your comment, I hope, if there's not like millions of them in the future. Anyways, that's the video. Do all those YouTube things to help the channel grow, and I guess I'll see y'all nerds next time. Ciao.